So I'm here in LA in a studio filming, and the cool thing is I'm still giving challenge webinars like I do every week, but I love having guests on because a lot of people are killing it with different strategies. In this video, I have Tim Bohen on because he actually just released a new tool that goes over stocks hitting a very key level. And in this video, you'll see what that key level is, why it matters, why it's been working. He only released this tool a few days ago. You can actually watch a whole free presentation that we did in the link below. You can learn from it. I really encourage you to learn how this works, not just memorizing the patterns. But in this video, he breaks it down. It's a beautiful little tool. It's a beautiful little strategy that's working very well. In just a few days, he's had literally 3 giant winners. We review each one of these. I know some of you have already profited off 1 or 2 or even all 3 of the plays, but it's just so cool. Even in a choppy market, there are these patterns that pop up, and there are these inefficiencies, especially in microcaps and small caps. Tim Bohen has been a great teacher. He's been a great student of mine for years now, but he has developed this tool with our whole team, and I really think that it's going to be eye-opening to get you guys looking at the market and looking at key inflection prices a little different. Watch this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I think that it's really cool to see your reactions. And I encourage you to also click a second link below because I put out a free watch list every single week so you can see Tim Bohen's plays, you can see my plays, and you start to see where the opportunities are. Too many traders are trading random setups. You get random results, you lose, you get frustrated. If you trade more predictable setups at predictable prices, specifically when Tim Bohen explains how a certain key level, I don't want to give it away, but a certain key level really matters, then your odds of success go way up. So watch this video, take notes, and thank Tim Bohen for sharing so openly. What a freaking market. What a day. I mean, I'm just trying to keep up. I'm like in studio filming this new guide. There's so many freaking plays, and I'm in it.
I tell you, it's wild, man. I just, like the number of opportunities, and you're going to talk on this a lot, but it's so wild how you look at, the mainstream media, and it's just like all doom, gloom every single day. Like, stay away from the market, stay away. And if you would have stayed away the last 2 weeks, it probably would have been the dumbest decision you could have possibly made. I mean, like, target rich environment. Sorry to interject.
No, keep talking. It's important that people hear this. Frankly, this is why we teach. We need to get good information out there, because if everyone's just scared and doom and gloom, then everyone's just like missing out on opportunity. You're poor, you're bitter, the news owns you. And that's a sad way to live.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I actually saw a tweet the other day, and this applies to all the mainstream media, but like they love it when the stock market's down because they're always like inducing the fear. And then the guy made a great point. He's like, when have any of these news networks tell you it's time to buy stocks? They never said that. And whether that's what we do in, short-term speculative markets, but I mean, look at the 100-year chart of the S&P. When have any of these fear-based media companies said buy stocks?
Because if you just say buy stocks and hold, or like ride the uptrend, or God forbid, like trade penny stocks, then,
Fair enough.
you're not going to watch their stuff because you start to realize that they're full of crap and they offer no value. And in fact, not even no value, it's actually counterproductive to watch misinformation with idiots.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, not to beat it to death. It's just it's
Beat
one of
it
the
to
things.
death.
It's one of the things that you and I, and listen, a little bit of history. I mean, I fell for that. So just kind of a quick bio. I always say quick
Yeah.
bio, and sometimes it ends up long. But I started trading. I started an internet business in the late '90s. So I completely missed the dot-com boom because I was building a business. I was broke. I was working crazy. Every dollar I had went back in the business. Dot-com boom happens. We all know that. I mean, obviously you crushed it back then. Post dot-com boom, my business had matured a little bit. I had a little bit of money. I had some time. I started trading. And the reason I point this out all the time is I fell for that same trap of like, here's my most embarrassing trading related story. Okay.
Everyone in the chat room, real quick, type in the word trap if once upon a time you focused on the wrong information, you believed the news, and you didn't know what you know now. Let's see how
You
many people fell for the word trap. Okay.
you you've probably heard this story, Tim, but you'll like it again.
I like your stories. You're like,
I
man, I just featured Yoda. He has about as much hair as you do.
this is back in the days of TiVo, mind you. Okay. But I used to, back in the beginning, I would TiVo Mad Money, Jim Cramer, because I was busy with the kids and dinner and stuff. I would get up at 5 a.m., watch the replay of Mad Money, like write down every ticker he mentioned. And I thought that that was the path to success. That, my friends, might be the most embarrassing trading related story I have ever heard, and I lived it.
It's okay. Look, but it's so like, I asked how many people got trapped, and I mean, there's like 30 people. It's okay if you got trapped once upon a time. Like literally off camera, I was telling Bowen I'm going to go to Thailand and save this elephant. But like years ago, when I first went to Thailand, first went to Bali, I rode elephants because I was like a dumb tourist and I didn't know. And I saw they had like a nasty hook on them. And they were like, oh, this is a multi-ton animal. They can't feel it. Only later did I find out, yes, they're multi-ton animals, but they have thin skin like us. And that hook like hurts. So I mean, it's a different topic,
Hey,
but
I remember the cheetahs too, Tim. I've been around.
well, that was actually a cheetah rescue. So
Okay, fair
I
enough.
wasn't bamboozled there. But like, with elephants, like again, there's so many instances, and I don't want anyone to regret being trapped or misinformed because that's part of life. Now you know what not to do. And it gives you more perspective and it helps you appreciate the right? Like the sweet isn't as sweet without the sour. If you just go through life and you know everything, then you're a politician and like you're lying. Like, we all make mistakes and that's okay. Before we get to charts and before we get to
Well, let me wrap up that
yeah,
story while
tell
you
it.
get that ready.
Finish it.
So basically, I fell into that trap that we're talking about. Years and years of mediocrity, struggling, couldn't figure it out, was ready to quit. And funny enough,
Is
a
that when you
book
were pulling your hair out?
again, listen, Sykes, before I met you, I used to look like Fabio. It was
Yeah, but I feel like if you were trapped in your mediocrity and you're
it was down to the middle of my back. It flowed when the wind blew. It was
I mean,
beautiful.
I've
It was a
seen your back. I know you have more hair now on your back than on your head, and that's messed up. Like you're built wrong. God messed up.
So a book was recommended to me by Amazon called, do you know the name of the book?
The Alchemist.
An American Hedge Fund.
I love The
Jackass.
Alchemist. I love
Okay.
The Alchemist. It's a
It's
good
a
book.
great book. An
Right?
American Hedge Fund was recommended to me. And I read this book and it was like the clouds parted in the sun. And I'm like, I've been doing it all wrong. This guy didn't know you at the time. I'm like, this guy is everything in here is the opposite of what I've been told literally my entire life. So I read that book, great book. Hopefully all of you read it and reached out to you and everything changed since then. So like that to close the loop on that story of falling for the trap or, I fell for it, but this beautiful young man on the other end of Zoom pulled me out of that. So
We're missing Elab spike up. Can you pull up Elab?
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Six,
Going nuts.
six,
That,
six, 670.
yeah. And this
Literally,
one,
it's spiked $1 a share since the beginning of your story.
yeah, let me
I
share.
should have
Like
cut you
this
off.
is
690.
great example of opportunity here because elab and we're going to talk about one of my new algorithms in a second, but I the rct algo, type rct if you guys are familiar with the rct pattern.
RCT.
It's the best way to trade in pre-market. Elab was on rct this morning. It hit oracle at $4.18. It hit that price midday. This thing was on the squeeze algo all day long. It was on XGPT. You traded it too, didn't you? I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to trade as much as I can, and
But I'm just saying, like,
failing.
that's to again tie this together. I mean, that's the opportunity out there, whether it be Elab in pre, after the market open, middle of the day, right now, as it goes parabolic to 7 plus. And remember, that doesn't mean you're gonna buy this morning and hold all day.
Yeah.
But think of the amount of opportunities. I mean, there's literally probably 3 to 6 different entries on this thing all through the day. So for all of you guys that are probably part-time traders, maybe you can't be there in pre, maybe you can't be there in the morning, the afternoon. Maybe you showed up in after hours and you caught that move.
Be there whenever you can. I was buying this in the threes last week. This was like gonna be one of my weekend plays. I made a
Right.
mistake.
That was Friday. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I made a mistake on this because I saw the news and I was so excited about it and I went too big, too fast, and then it tanked like 10% and I got scared out. And so like this is what I
But
need
you
to.
made the right decision at the time because it
Yeah,
it
I
it
don't
fell
I
apart
don't
in
regret
after
it, but it's
Friday.
just funny like where sometimes you're going to see these setups and you're going to be like, "Oh my God, this is the one." And you have to try to control your emotions and not get too excited, not size in too much because even if it is the one, there's probably going to be volatility. Look at it now, 710. I can't chase it here. Unbelievable. Before we
And
get any further though, I do want to highlight three students. How do I Can you, I don't know how to do this. Can you just go to my Twitter, Bowen? My latest
I
tweet?
don't want to,
Do it.
but I will
Do
if
it.
you make me.
Do it. This latest tweet, I got to give props to three students here. Pretty awesome, because this is the end of the week and or end of the day, end of the month, end of the quarter.
You got a pinned tweet from 8 years ago.
I know.
Should you
Well, that's my
update that?
school. That's my first school. But look at this. Look at Yoda. This is what I'm talking about. Click that whole tweet. So this little picture of Yoda looks strikingly similar to like Tim Bohen in green paint. They have the same amount of hair,
Fair enough.
same facial structure.
I'll own that. I'll own that.
I mean, Yoda's a good looking guy, but there's three students, and I'm going to link it here because I want to give them props. They literally just posted this here in chat, and I love this. Like, I'm so proud of so many of you getting it, whether you're trading small, whether you're trading for, a week, a month, a year. Tommy Knoxville, best month since last May, $30,000. Everyone retweet this, give Tommy Knoxville some props. 30,000 in a month. That's pretty freaking awesome. Also, M. Carmen, $1,548 today, closing out his best month, 7,700, most of it from the last 3 weeks, continuing to learn and improve his process. And then Himini, who has been in this chat for a while and he never really sized
Oh, I know him and he.
until lately, $556 today, $100 higher than his last best day.
Him and his username used to be him and he Diggly in
Yeah.
honor of HMY,
Yeah.
Helios and Matheson, which is
And
now
DGOY.
delisted, and DGLY, which is somehow still around, somehow, but yeah.
But all three of these traders are at different points in their journey. They're trading different dollar amounts, but I love it. Oh, did I forget Hertz? Shoot, I forgot Hertz. Where's Hertz? I'm trying to screenshot everything. I can't keep up. Shoot. I know Hertz it did have it. Where was Hertz? I saw something because it was right after me. So Hertz also, I should have tweeted this, but Hertz, if you're in the challenge webinar, 1,200 today. Got caught end of the day, biggest loss of the month, awful way to finish the day, but he's still up 1,200 and 21,000 on the month for his best month of the year, third
Yeah.
best month of all time. So you can make a lot even while you mess up. Oh, I'm getting more people. Bama Bo, best month for him too, $3,000. Congrats to Bama Bo. How does this
And
feel, Tim Bowen? Like
I mean,
you're now a
and
mentor
that's
too.
that's what kind of going back a little bit to that, little story that I told. What instantly drew me to you, Tim, was like the realness, and I could tell you really cared too. It wasn't like, and I mean, to see how excited you still get, 15,
Of
20
course.
years later. But I tell you, that's why I love working with you. I appreciate, the opportunity you've given me over the last decade. Because I mean, we literally change people's lives, man. It's incredible.
I
My
love
old
these people.
business, it was cool building the internet. I enjoyed that phase of my life. But like today, these days, like, I get a lot of messages like those too, where it's just like life-changing stuff, opening people's eyes, making money. And I tell you, it's we got the best job in the world, really, to
100%.
to be able to do that for people.
And
Yeah.
to those of you just starting, or maybe you have losses and you're not making money yet, get inspired by these students and traders. Like everyone in chat, how long have you been trading or learning, properly? I
Yeah,
don't care.
one thing I'd like to say when you see these big days and stuff, like there's a lot of times there's two reactions. Okay. And Sykes knows this probably better than I do. A lot of people have the reaction of kind of like jealousy. Maybe you had a bad day. Okay. Maybe Joe Smith, you lost money today. What you don't want to do is be like, oh, screw this. Like, oh, he knows. Remember, Sykes said it a couple minutes ago. Everybody's on a different phase of the journey. And no one gets it right away. No one masters it right away. And it's that zigzaggy line of success. So what I tell people when you see this, a lot of people have that reaction of kind of jealousy, of spite. Get inspired, because I mean, I know a lot of these names. I know Tommy Knoxville. I know him and he real well. Like, I mean, these are people that might be much further along on the journey. And a couple of years ago, they were probably right where you were. So get inspired by that.
And also, it's not every year is equal. So like some
Yep.
people are like, hey, but this trader was at X, 3 years in. This is a choppy market. Frankly, I'm surprised that a lot of people are having their best month. And I think that goes to, my teachings and Bowen's teachings in such a choppy market. Like we're finishing one of the worst quarters in the past few years. And like if you are meticulous and prepared as a trader, you can have, I mean, you see people having their best week, best month, best quarter. So like you don't have to go down with the ship. I know a lot of hodlers where they thought crypto would bounce, they thought Ethereum would bounce. Maybe they got squeezed on their silver shorts. I mean, there's a lot of big traders and they are struggling versus us where we're seeing play after play after play
Yeah,
and
and
you just take them.
there's a great quote, and I should one of these days I'll look up who said it. But it really applies to the stuff we trade because these are volatile stocks. Like, listen, guys, Elab is incredible. Okay, it's incredible. But a week from now, it's gonna be all over. Okay. The people that don't listen to what Sykes says, that he taught me, that I learned, is like you take profits on the way up. You don't believe in these stocks because I mean they're probably gonna drop an offering and a week from now it'll be back at $2. Now, this also applies to, taking losses, which Sykes is the king of preaching this, and was the probably one of the biggest things that changed my arc. Okay, and the quote is, "It's okay to be wrong, just don't stay wrong." And you go back to Sykes's trade on Wednesday. I mean, or on Friday on Elab. I mean, again, he
All
made the right
loss.
decision at the time. That's
All
what you have
loss.
to do. And if you're wrong, just be okay with being wrong. Move on. Lose a couple $100. Because here's the key. You could have lost a couple $100 yesterday, come back and crush Elab, and and you're up thousands. I mean, that's the beauty of staying agile, listening to all of the things that he says. I mean, again, I went through the same path all you guys. I was probably one of the first 20 challenge students, 15, 12, whenever the challenge started, years ago.
I mean, look, and this is, DZX just said, been in the challenge for 5 years. I might be your dumbest student. I've lost thousands. I have less than 1,000 left, but refuse to quit. Never quit, never surrender. You will fight them on the beaches. You will fight them in the air. You must never surrender. And that's what it comes
And
down to.
listen, if you guys, and Sykes is a big reader too, if you read about the history of traders. I mean, there's a lot of guys I mean, you're talking like billionaire hedge funds that struggled for a decade. Okay, and keep in mind, I missed the guy's name, but I mean, listen, you got a life. I mean, things happen. You're busy. Maybe you got a family. Like,
And
don't
there's
beat
changing
yourself.
markets too. And that's also now, if you've lost big, again, now you have the education. You know what not to do, right? Like I actually just posted this on my Instagram story because I'm a big UConn fan. Pretty cool that we took down the evil Empire Duke. We kept shooting the threes and we were missing. I think we were like 2 for 18 or like,
Who's we? Are you on the team?
what?
Are you
I'm
on the
from
team? Who's
Connecticut.
we?
I'm from Connecticut, so it counts. Everyone in
Okay.
Connecticut is tuned in. Okay, this is our one sport. I don't know why we even have a good team, but we do. So we're gonna take it. So we barely had any threes going in, but they kept shooting. And then when it finally mattered, the last two threes went in, and we win the game. And it was like one of the most historic comebacks. It was beautiful. You are not done unless you quit. if you
Yep.
have any money whatsoever. And now you have the lessons. So like people are always like, oh, I have losses. It's so frustrating. It's humiliating. No, it's not. It's part of your education. And even if you've lost, oh, you've lost thousands. I've lost millions. Okay. Size up. Start losing millions. Then you can talk. When you lose a few thousand, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. You're still alive. You're still breathing. There's still supernovas. Okay. ELAB has now doubled in the past few days. Even if you had a $500 account, you put $200 into it, you can make 400 in 3 days. Like there's so much opportunity. Actually, this is
And
why I
you
want to
know,
talk about Bowen. Before we
and yeah,
go,
one and yeah, like I'll kind of add something. Like as Tim mentioned, like it's one. Listen, we're humans are like this. It's one thing to be told the right way to do it, and I don't think there's any better coach than my original and only mentor, Tim Sykes. But at the end of the day, I mean, you guys know whether when you were a kid or your kids, at some point you just have to make the mistakes and learn from them. And again, going back to that guy, like to me, don't put yourself down. I mean, you're still here 5 years later. Like most people quit. Most people quit everything. Diets, businesses, job. Most people just quit everything. Once they get into a little bit of adversity, they're done and they quit. You're again, I think, the fact that you're still alive and still plugging away has separated you. Now, don't, make sure you're, that's why I'm a big, I talk about journaling a lot and stuff. Like write down these lessons that you've learned, but at the end of the day, we all kind of have to go through it. I mean, but if you've made mistakes, don't ignore them. That's where market tuition comes in.
this
We,
is
yeah,
so a
and
big thing is like surviving your learning curve,
yep.
right? So like whether you lose a little, whether you lose a lot, it's all part of your learning curve. No one goes to like college. It's funny, like people go to college and they spend, 50,000, 100,000, sometimes 200,000 these days, which is crazy. No one's like, I studied for 4 years and I'm down, 180.
How's that philosophy degree treating you, Tim?
Fantastic. It's changed my life. Highly recommend it. But I'm just saying, people don't look at the money that they pay for education as losses. They look at trading losses as losses and they regret that. And it's all one and the same. Whether you spend money on an actual education with your trading with, courses like this challenge, whether you pay an overhyped, scam institution called college and you lose 6 or 7 figures in years or even a decade of your life. I mean, it's all part of your journey. You just need to get rich once. Like if you look at a lot of the millionaire students, it's cool to see these students making 5,000, 30,000. That's awesome. But the millionaire students, most of them started in a slow, choppy market like 2016, 2017. And then 2018 was a little better, but they were ready for 2020 and 2021. That's when I created the most millionaires. Then 2022 sucked. 2023 was a little better. 2024 was fantastic. 2025 was good up until the end of the year. 2026 has started slow, but now it looks to be ramping up. So, like, you can't just look at time and be like, I must hit X amount within X months or years. It's all part of the journey. So with that said, let's talk with Tim Bohen about, what he's doing differently, because the reason why I wanted to bring him on, not just to make fun of his lack of hair, but to like talk about this new tool that he's created, how
I mean,
you
it's reality. So you're not making fun of anything. I accept it.
Well, I know, but it's fun to like talk about it in front of other people because I can make
Ah,
the joke with you, but it's just not funny. You've heard it so many times. Some people, their first challenge webinar, I get to expand my reach of my jokes, which I greatly enjoy. But talk about this new tool. That's what I want you guys to understand.
yeah. So there's an interesting setup that has been around forever. Okay. Like a lot of, again, what I appreciate about what Sykes taught me was simplicity, just simple patterns, simple setups. And,
Simple is powerful. Kiss.
yep. And the stocks change. Like every day we have a new batch of stocks. There's a new batch of tickers, but the patterns never change. I mean, we're trading patterns that you were trading in the 90s. Like it's like 30 years ago. Okay. By the way, you're getting old, Tim.
I am 100%.
But so I say like Sykes and I, and pretty much everybody in trading is kind of known about the dollar cross play. I mean, it's this setup where you get these 50, 60, 70, 80 cent gappers, like they gap up and then they just kind of stop. They stop at that key psychological level of a dollar. And there's a lot of factors that go into it, like scanners and regulatory compliance. There's a bunch, and if you guys were on the webinar with us last week, we talked about this. But it's crazy how lately, like this year, for whatever reason, the dollar cross play has been one of the hottest setups out there. And because of that, a lot of you guys know, I use what Sykes brought me on board for was to bring my technology background and my trading background to stocks to trade. When Sykes launched stocks to trade over a decade ago, he was like, I don't have time to do this. I've got a lot going on, but I want to launch this trading software company. So I was a student for about 10 years at that point. So they're like, hey, why don't we, bring Bowen on to fill in where Sykes just didn't have time to do it. He's got a lot going on. Like, there's no way. So because of the fact that these dollar cross plays have been popping off so much, like vibe coded, which listen, AI guys, incredible. Vibe coding, I mean, it's incredible what you can do. I vibe coded basically a dollar cross algo, and I like to call it the Rubicon Codex. And what it does is it looks for these 5 unique factors that we talked about on the webinar. And for the sake of time, we won't get into all of them. But there's a lot that happens when one of these stocks crosses a dollar. And what's wild is, I built the algo a couple months ago, tested it for a few months. In testing, it was crushing it. Then we announced it Wednesday. Sykes is like, hey, we got to talk about it. I was telling him about it. He's like, we got to show the people. Okay. In typical Tim Sykes fashion.
Let my people go.
So Wednesday night, we announced that. And the reason I'm here today is the last couple days have just been ridiculous. Okay. So it went officially live Thursday. It had one alert on Thursday. It was VSA, alerted it in real time to buy.
Show the chart.
Okay. Yep. So it crossed the dollar at about 12:45-ish. Later that day, it peaked at over 2. Following morning, continued to 290. Now, what's wild is that happened again the last 2 days. I'll go over that. So that was Thursday. Alerted real time as a buy at a dollar cross. Only stock alerted that day by this algo. It's not like it's spitting out 500 stocks all over the place. One shot, one kill on Thursday, the first day it was live. Then Friday, nothing great. I got nothing to announce on Friday. We had a couple single-digit gainers. Nothing great. I mean, single digits aren't hard. You come back in Monday, BFRG. Okay, BFRG, I'm sure all you guys know this one. Again, only stock alerted yesterday. Only one. I want to stress that. Crossed the dollar. Later that day was up at $1.50, 50% plus. And then what's crazy is this one, much like VSA, continued into the next day. So from $1 to $1.96, so almost 100% move past $1. That was yesterday and today. Okay, that one continued over. Then we go to today. OXBR, again, only stock alerted today, crossed $1, went to $1.40 for 40%. So that's why Sykes wanted me to come back, because we knew it was awesome Wednesday, but now we've got this track record that proves that this thing is crushing it. And for whatever reason, like, the market does what the market does, but the dollar cross plays are incredible. Most people miss them. That's why I build these tools, because you guys are busy. Again, probably 99% of you on this webinar are part-time traders. This thing sends a push notifications, sends emails if you prefer emails. It has a real-time algo. I mean, right here's what it looks like. I mean, it is just going back to what we talked about KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And what I love about this is, for all you guys with small accounts, we're talking $1 stocks. It's not even $4 or $5 or $6 stocks. It's literally the cheapest stocks out there, predictable. and the Rubicon Codex has been clutching it. I'm getting anxiety because I don't know if this, I hope it continues, but the last 3-4 days have just been absolutely incredible.
He only released this tool a few days ago. You can actually watch a whole free presentation that we did in the link below. You can learn from it. I really encourage you to learn how this works, not just memorizing the patterns.